What's up, guys? I'm back again with another video, and I'm gonna start this video by showing you how crazy this drone is. This is a 3.5 Cinewoop, and I'm gonna take it for a little spin for some proximity flying. And I got the GoPro 8 on it. That's a full-size GoPro. It's not one of those naked GoPro, and I have a bigger 6S 1800 milliwatts battery on it. Total weight of the drone with everything I have right now is about 713 grams. Let's take it for a spin and let's see how good this thing gonna fly. And let's see how this drone gonna manage this heavy battery. And by the way, this is just a demonstration purpose. And when I build this drone, I actually build it so I will not have to use the GoPro. I build it so I'll be able to take full advantage of the DJI-O3. Now I want to show you the footage of the flights you're using the DJI Gago 2 DVR, so you gotta get an idea how stable the flight is. Later on in the video, I want to show you footage of different type of flight where I'll be flying a lot more aggressive, and I'm gonna be showing you the rock study on this drone. On this day, it actually was a pretty windy day. When I check on Google, the wind gust in my area was supposed to be between 11 to 15 miles, so pretty windy. But that's one thing about this drone being so heavy right now is that it didn't really get affected so much by the wind. And of course, Cinewoops don't really fly that good on windy days, just because of the prop guard. But as you're saying, I mean, this drone is actually flying pretty okay to being that heavy. One more time, with the GoPro and the 1800 6S LaPo, the weight of the drone is 713 grams, and that is pretty much a weight of a 5-inch drone. But those motor doing pretty good with those 3.5-inch props. Now, I usually don't fly this drone with the heavy battery. That's just, like I say, that's just for demonstration purpose. I wanted to see if those motor gonna be able to fly with a heavy LaPo, and they are doing pretty fine. Now, I usually fly this drone with either a 1000 milliamp hour LaPo or a 1200 milliamp hour LaPo 6S. Of course, this is a 6S build. And when I use a smaller battery, the drone is definitively much lighter. I did a couple run with those battery with the GoPro on top. With the 1200 milliamp hour, I got about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And with a 1000 milliamp hour, I got about close to 5 minutes. It was more like 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So, but with the GoPro, I'm getting about good, decent flights, just flying, proximity flying. With both battery, I'm getting more than 5 minutes. But enough of this flight footage. What I'm gonna do right now, we're gonna go back inside, and I'm gonna go a little more about this build. Alright guys, so I am back inside. Let's talk about this build. This is a 3.5-inch build, as I said earlier. The frame I use for this build is the Cineon frame from Axie Flying. And the reason I picked this frame is that I've seen a couple of videos on the Cineon, and all the video I've seen, everybody seemed to like the frame. Nobody had anything negative to say about the frame, and I have to say that I do like the frame. It is a very nice frame, very good quality frame. It does have a 3mm top plate, and that is very nice because it does help with reducing vibration from the motor or the prop guard itself. Talking about the prop guards, they feel pretty solid, and they have a little bit of flex on it, but I don't think they're producing mass vibration because tuning this frame was actually pretty easy. I'm using the DJI O3 Air unit on this build. I had to make a little change as far as the camera go. Now, this is the camera mounts that come with this frame, and when I first put the frame together, I used this mount, and I'll show you that how flexible this mount is. It is made out of 3D printed parts. It is very flexible, and it was designed for the Nebula Pro. But the only problem I had with the O3 Air unit, it was that with this mount, I was getting a lot of vibration, and it was so bad that I could not even use Rocksteady. So what I ended up doing, I pretty much just ditch this mount, and I end up designing my own mount. This work much better. I can still get some vibration when I'm flying, but as far as Rocksteady goes, it is perfect. It is very smooth. So that is the one change I made on this build. Now let's talk about the motor. The motor I'm using on this build are the FPV Sako 23mm shorts. and those are excellent motor, very powerful. Now some of you may think 23mm motor, which are technically 2304 motor, are pretty big for a drone on the side. But if you check on the plug and play or the band and fly, that Axis Flying setting of this drone, they're actually using 2204. So the 2303 are slightly bigger, but those motors are very good and very powerful, and I'll say even pretty efficient. You see the flight when I was using the big battery, they did handle that pretty good. Even after the flights, the motor came back cool. So very nice motor. One thing I definitely love about those motor is that they do come with this 2mm shaft. There is a 5mm adapter you can put on the shaft, so you can use regular props, and that work pretty good. I just don't like T-style mounts. I do use them because you know, some motors just come with T-style mounts, but I like this setup much better. As far as the prop I'm using are the HQ prop, and those are the D90MMX3. Very nice prop. I'm really starting to like those prop. As far as the ARO goes, I mean, ARO, I'm using the JHMCU ARO. This is a 45 amp ARO. It is 6S rated, and I use the same ARO on my Fox Whoop. Work pretty good. I mean, it's just an ARO. It's pretty simple. I haven't found an ARO that I don't really like so far. But that is pretty much it as far as this build goes. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take it out for another spin. We're going to be using the 1200 battery. We're not going to be using the GoPro this time, and we're going to go for a more acrobatic and a more aggressive flight. Alright folks, now we're gonna go ahead for the second flight, I mean third flight, I don't know which flight this was. We're gonna be going a little more aggressive on my flying, and I have to tell you guys, this thing rock. Flying it this way, it doesn't even feel like a Cinewhoop. It is very stable, and as I said earlier, this was a windy day, but the drone managed to do it pretty good. And this one, this flight I believe I had a 1000 milliamp battery, the 6S 1000 milliamp battery, and I didn't have the GoPro on, so you can see the drone is very agile. Does not feel like a Cinewhoop. And as far as tuning goes, I didn't really do any crazy tuning. It was just a basic Betafly 4.4 stock tune, and that's what I'm using on this guy, is a Betafly 4.4. And I did make some changes on my filter, but nothing really crazy. I just kind of moved the filter slider a little bit on the right, kind of reduce the filter a little bit. But the drone itself, as you can see guys, it is flying pretty good. I bet you if I show you this image, I didn't say that it was a Cinewhoop, you never guess that this actually was a Cinewhoop flying. You may think it was either like a freestyle drone. Flag weight, and I don't know what else to tell you though. I'll let you guys enjoy some of my crazy flying. Definitely like it. Like I said earlier, it does do both pretty well. If you want proximity flying, it will do it. If you want to do a little more aggressive flight, I mean, it can handle it with no problem. Those motors from APV Sako are actually pretty good. I would say they may be one of the best motor I have so far on my Cinewhoop. On my other 3.5 Cinewhoop, which is the Geek 35, I did use the 21mm motors, and those motors are actually pretty good also, but the 23mm just seem to have a little more punch. Response wise, I mean, the throttle feel pretty good in a low throttle, mid throttle, or high throttle. The kind of fly I'm doing right now is not really the best way of flying a Cinewhoop. You know, this is more the kind of flight you use for freestyle drone, but as you may see, it's holding on pretty good. And I mean, that's pretty much it guys for this video. I want to let you go, and I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.